You're listening to the Gutsy Podcast, where we talk about all things real, raw, and ridiculous about running a business authentically. I'm Laura Wallace, also known as the Laura Aura, lover of all things inspirational, owner of Worx graphic design, and your host on this journey through entrepreneurship. I'm here to help you get out of your head and back into action as a passionate business rock star. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday as we fuel your gutsy. I can remember when I started Worx in 2007 like it was yesterday. It was such a profound time in my life where so many things had shifted, so many things had changed. Our family dynamics had changed, my career had changed. I mean, let's just do all the things. Let's have a baby and launch a business all in the same year. That's a super awesome idea. I'm really thankful when I look back that I did it the way that I did it. But one of the things that stands out the most to me is when I look back at my 22-year-old self and the extreme naiveness that I had about running a business, the fact that I not only stuck through it, but persevered and pushed through it to get to where we are as a team today is the very reason that I want to share this episode with you. Because when I look back, I didn't have any friends that owned businesses. I didn't know anyone that had gone through business. I didn't have a role model or a mentor or really anyone to lean on. I was kind of like a toddler. You know, a toddler will ride their bike off of the front step and not even think twice about it. Why? Because they don't have anything to compare it to. They don't have the fear or the pain associated with. So, off the front step they go. And then guess what? They learn. And most of the time, now I'm air quoting, most of the time, they don't repeat the same mistakes. But when I look back, I was like that 3-year-old toddler. I was just like, well, people start businesses all the time. It can't be that hard. It can't be that big of a deal. Well, did I learn some things along the way? But one of those things there are common startup feelings. I want to call them the jitters that happen like if you just opened up a floodgate and you just started feeling like all of a sudden all these things that you were feeling at your previous job or work or career that you just left. Now these are a whole new set of feelings, and it can leave you feeling really confused. It can leave you feeling very overwhelmed and wondering, is this normal? Do other people feel this, or have I completely lost my shit? Well, a couple of years ago, we started the Green Couch Project because of this very reason. And if you look up on YouTube, if you search the Green Couch Project, you can see lots of interviews with startup businesses or businesses that have made it through that stage and are now onto different phases of their careers. They talk about their journeys and some of these feelings that they had and worries and concerns and, oh my gosh, is this normal and where did this come from? You know, when you go into this, you feel like, I'm a pretty solid person. I feel like I'm pretty smart. I've got a talent clearly that I want to pursue. I've been making some money at my job, so I feel like I can keep making money. And then smack in the face, all of a sudden you're again hit with all these thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So through these videos, we brought the stories to life about what some of these common thoughts and feelings are like. And so that you know that you're not alone, that you're not the only person up at midnight wondering, that you're not the only person waking up before the alarm clock, not because you're an early bird, but because your brain and your body is like, hey, guess what? It's time to do things. Chop, chop. Or when you're sitting in your office alone and just feeling like a deer in headlights, there is such power in knowing that other people have experienced these things and other people have pushed through and gone on to achieve some of the greatest success that they may not have even been able to wrap their heads around when they started. The Green Couch Project was such a huge part of our journey and such a huge stepping stone. We literally have a green couch. I'm looking at it across from my desk right now. She's such an idol in this journey and really serves as a place of safety, a place of togetherness. And it serves as a reminder that it's okay to have these feelings and that you're not the only one. But it takes courage to reach out. It takes courage to tell someone what you're going through, because if you sit in your living room or in your office or in your car or wherever and you just mull around in your head for hours or days or weeks at a time, not only does that put strain and pressure on you and your body and your mind, the chances of you giving up too soon are greater. People, you have to talk, you have to communicate. It's the entire premise that we evolved the Green Couch Project into the Gutsy Podcast. You listen to me rant and rave every week about different aspects of life and business and personality and thoughts and feelings and manifestation and money and all these other things. And yet, do you think any less of me because I'm vulnerable with you? No, I didn't think so. So I'm going to challenge you back with that and say, some of the people that I really look up to, they're vulnerable with me. How can I be vulnerable with someone else? How can my story or journey inspire someone else? Okay, I just had to get real deep there for a little while. Now we're going to get into what I would consider the 8 most common startup jitters. Now you're going to experience an array of emotions. And this is not only a startup as far as I am literally starting a business. Sometimes this is when you're introducing a new product, when you are expanding a team, when you are adding a service, when you are moving your office. Anytime that you make any kind of big change or big movement in your business, these thoughts and feelings and emotions are going to rear their heads in a lot of different ways. Some of these are really positive, some of these are really challenging. But again, I want to remind you that both are necessary because they're keeping you in check. They're keeping you on your journey. And it's really understanding and knowing how to navigate through and with them to really understand how to use them to your advantage. So the first one is awesome and it's fun and it's my particular favorite, and it's extreme excitement. Like I kind of want to piss myself type of excitement. You get an idea, you get a thought. If you look back and listen to the episode on the mental cycle, this is what we would consider the aha moment. This is when all the clouds have parted, all the seas are calm, and you can just see the end result like it's in a crystal ball. In this moment, you're thinking about your business or your idea every waking hour. Like literally, no matter where you go, something inspires you, and you can't wait to get back to the office to get to it. This is such a powerful, powerful emotion that's going to really drive you through. Adrenaline kicks in. I mean, you're all systems go when extreme excitement kicks in. The one thing I want to caution you though, and I have fallen into this trap myself, is sometimes you get so excited that you become blinded to everything else. And the chances of you making a rash decision or putting something else on the back burner becomes a lot higher. So it's completely normal to be insanely excited about your business. It's not normal to basically stop everything in your life to only focus on this. And I'm talking about long periods of time here as well. There are definitely going to be seasons where your business is going to need you and your undivided attention. But being able to sustain always being in extreme excitement is exhausting. So just be aware that when you're excited, give it that time, give it that energy. But know that behind the excitement, then comes the work, then comes the planning, then comes the strategizing on how to bring that beautiful, that big, incredible, amazing idea to life. The next jitter that likes to show up is comparison. Oh, comparison. I like to say comparison is the thief of joy, and I will back that up until the day that I die. Because you could be the best writer on the planet. You could be the best seamstress on the planet. You could be the best interior designer, blacksmith, retail operator, clothes designer. I mean, you could be the best in your industry. And if you hop on the internet or run into someone or go to someone's website and they appear to be doing it better than you, you will automatically knock yourself off of the pedestal that you have worked so damn hard to build. And the crazy thing is, it can happen in a split second. You can go from feeling on top of the world, like you've got your entire shit together, all of it. You've worked really hard. It's all together in a nice little packaged bow with a perfectly branded box. And you go onto Instagram and one of your competitors pops up, and all of a sudden you feel like a piece of shit. Like, why did I even create that box? Whose box is that anyway? Who did I think that could be to make this package? No, it's all lies. It's comparing ourselves and automatically devaluing the expertise that we have, the success that we have created, the relationships that we have. No one can do it the way that you do it. There are a bajillion creative people on the planet, okay? If I get caught up in what everyone else is doing between branding and podcasting and speaking, guys, there are 3 avenues. I could go down a rabbit hole and you would never hear from me again. But I'm not servicing anybody by doing that. And no one will ever, ever deliver it the way that I deliver it. No one is going to create your product. No one is going to sell your service. No one is going to run your business the way that you do it. Why? Because they're not you. They're going to do it in their own unique way. And you know what? We need more celebration of people doing what they're called to do. Because if you're running a small restaurant and you see another small restaurant pop up down the street, instinct is, well, shit, here we go. Why am I trying anyway? Now I'm going to lose customers. Now I don't know what to do. Now I'm going to have to outbeat them. We just go into this like defense mechanism, like everyone's got their dukes up ready to fight. But really, if we think about, you know what? There's a culture. There's someone adding to our experience. There's someone down the street that could potentially expose them to our restaurant now. Why don't I support them? And in return, maybe they'll support me. And if they don't, that's cool. That's on them. But they're not going to make food the same way that you do. They're not going to have the same culture that you have. They're not going to have the same staff or menu or cocktail list. You get to do it your own unique way. Someone else's success does not take away from yours. That was a quote that I heard a while back, and it really just sticks with me because it's easy to feel like, well, if they're succeeding, that means that I'm failing. And that's a real feeling, guys. Their success means that I am failing. I am here to tell you that couldn't be further from the truth. And I too have to remind myself of that sometimes. There are some incredible branding agencies on this planet. And if I get wrapped up in that, I can get real sad on myself. It's not pretty. Trust me, I've been there. Is it normal to compare yourself? Absolutely. Is it normal to stop what you're doing completely because of it? No. This is where I want to challenge you to push through. And if you have to hide those people or unfollow their accounts, then that's the first thing that I need you to do. Because if you're wallowing every day and, well, look what they're doing now. Oh my gosh, now I'm behind. Oh, they're doing it way better than me. I don't even know why I'm doing this to begin with. It starts this snowball effect of shitty thoughts that you've convinced yourself is true. And I want to encourage you to know that you have the power to shut that down. It's all in your mind. It's all in your actions. So if you got to unfollow them. Get off their email list. Don't look at their Instagram account. Just do what you do best because no one else can replicate that. The next jitter? Worry. Oh, let's overthink everything, can we? Can I do this? Should I do it? Is it really any good? I don't really even know if anyone's going to buy it. I was stupid to think this. Who do I think that I am? You're going to make yourself sick some days wondering if you've done the right thing. You are literally going to make yourself physically ill. I've puked, like literally. Woke up and puked from worrying about this damn business. Guys, this emotion is such a great one and can be so debilitating that it can stop you in your tracks. I'm behind. I was just texting my husband earlier, literally. So here we are. I'm in the midst of worry right now. I said, I'm really tired. I didn't sleep well last night. I'm feeling insanely overwhelmed. I feel like I'm two steps behind where I need to be. I just feel really frantic. And he's like, you know what, babe? You wouldn't have been given this if you couldn't handle it. You've done this 1,000 times before. You've got this. And so I poured a glass of Chardonnay, and I'm recording this episode with you. Worrying is one of the most wasted emotions, but it's one of the realest. And I say it's a wasted emotion because it's creating scenarios and hype within ourselves that a lot of times don't even exist. And the things that we are worried about, I'm not saying that those things don't exist, because those thoughts and feelings, whatever circumstances are happening around you, can be very real. But worrying yourself to death on how you're going to handle it, how you're going to manage it, what are you going to change about it, how are you going to get things done? I find that I feel my most worried when I feel like I have the least control. And so, therefore, what I have learned to do is just slow down and make a list. What am I worried about? Okay, what do I need to achieve? When do these things need done by? Start prioritizing items. Start really looking at the big picture of what am I actually worried about? Is it stuff that needs to get done? Are these things that I've convinced myself are true but may or may not be? What is it that you're worried about, and start addressing it? And this is where I want to encourage you to start talking to people, because in your head, those voices, those fuckers are loud, and they scream, and they're ugly, and they're gnarly, and they have like 3 teeth, and I don't even like them. But when you put power behind it in a positive way and you say things out loud to someone, I'm talking a trusted mentor or friend or fellow business owner or spouse, someone that really understands your journey and can give you true critique, can give you true advice. Not someone who's just going to sit around on the couch drinking wine with you and woe is me about all the problems of the world. No, this is someone that can really help you through what you're worried about. When you say those things out loud, it not only makes the flame that seemed like a bonfire down to a match, but it can help you feel more in control and can give you the space and the time to take the breath that you need to get yourself back in control. Because here's the slippery slope, and this is the next common jitter. And this is more than a jitter. If you don't get a handle on worry, it can lead into anxiety and depression. I'm talking literal anxiety and depression. Guys, this is a real fucking thing. When you work at a job, most of the time you're leaving for the day. But when you run a business, it doesn't go away. It's part of you. It literally becomes part of your life. I often compare it to having a child. When you have a child, now you have a responsibility. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's what a business is like as well. Yes, you can take vacations. Yes, you can leave it temporarily sometimes. But ultimately, if you want it to keep going, you have to put systems and people in place for that to happen. I have suffered from anxiety and depression throughout my journey of this business more times than I care to admit. But I'm admitting it so that if you're feeling like that right now, you know that 1, you're not the only one, and 2, that you can overcome it. I have these sprints that like to show up of anxiety and depression. Can I do this? I get overwhelmed. I snap back into my worry and comparison. Or when we're changing and leveling up and adjusting systems and adding team members. There are so many variables that come along with owning a business. It can be very easy to slip into a dark place that you know that you don't want to be, but circumstances have led you to. This is where I really want you to reach out. I worked with a therapist for a year to work through some of the gunk that I had been experiencing. I have mentors that I lean on heavily. I have family members that I love and trust. My husband, AJ, God love the man. He is my rock. He gets me through so many things, and he truly, truly listens. I want you to find those people, and I want you to be willing to open up, because you would be amazed and surprised at how many people want you to succeed. They literally want you to win. but it takes you opening up and reaching out to let people know that, hey, you know what? I'm really struggling right now. Could we talk about this? And the people that will pour into you is going to completely blow your mind. Another common jitter is having fear based reactions. We all have a natural instinct to survive, right? We need to. So, oftentimes, when you start a business, you'll take on whatever you have to provide security for yourself and your family. And while this works for a little while, I just want you to know and encourage that this shouldn't be your long term plan. Eventually, you're going to get to a point where you get to be a little bit more self selective. You start learning characteristics of great clients. You start learning what works and what doesn't work. So you get to shape. I feel like when you start a business, it's like getting that tub of Play Doh. And when you crack it open, it's just kind of like this manila cylindrical shape. But as you build a business, you get to start molding it and shaping it and turning it into what you really want it to be. This need for survival of I don't want to drop things, I don't want things to fall apart, I'm just going to like grab the sand as it's falling down from the sky. It's common, okay? It's real, and especially if you have left the comfort of a paycheck, something that again, safety and security, something that you could rely on, and now all of a sudden that net is gone, or that net is only held on by 2/3 of the strings that it had. It's very common to just start grasping for straws, literally just grabbing whatever you can. So just be very mindful of making fear-based decisions and asking yourself, am I making this decision because it's right? Or am I making this decision because I'm scared? The sixth common jitter, and you may not think of this as a jitter, but this is actually a really cool one, is what I would consider the idea fireworks show. So a very common feeling that you're going to have when you're starting a business or starting something new is having a bajillion ideas and thoughts that pop into your mind, literally like fireworks on the 4th of July. I mean, you're going to have so many ideas that you're going to want to act on, but not enough time to do them all. So this is the perfect time to really align your ideas with your goals and your mission. This is where really building a strong foundation of knowing who you are, what you do, and how it makes a difference really matters. Because if I acted on every single idea that I had, you would never see me, ever. Sometimes you'll hear people say, so many ideas, so little time. And that's so true, but not every idea needs acted on. Sometimes an idea is a stepping stone to get you closer to the true like meat and potato idea that you need that's actually going to move your business forward. So ideas are fun and exciting. I just want you to be very mindful of your ideas. And are we shotgunning things? Are we just, again, grasping for straws? Or does this align with my business and get me closer to the goals that I have created? The seventh one I find actually kind of comical, but it's also really frustrating. And that's the questions that you are going to get from people that come out of the woodwork when you make a change in your life. For instance, so you're starting this business. Are you also going to like apply for a real job? I mean, how are you going to pay your bills? And what are you going to do? Are you going to like work in sweatpants all the time? Guys, the questions that people come up with, all of a sudden everyone's got a personal interest in your career path, as if you not being able to pay your bills has a personal effect on them. Well, here's the thing. The reason that people ask you questions, and especially your family members, parents, siblings, cousins, your neighbor, everyone all of a sudden gets really concerned. And it's actually quite lovely, because that in a strange way is showing you that they really care about you. But it's also a reflection of an insecurity of theirs, that you're doing something that they can't see themselves doing, which makes it automatically seem like a threat to them. Like, oh my gosh, you're not doing what people traditionally do. How are you going to survive? The trick here is let them have the space that they need, but don't absorb it and take it home with you. Because it's easy when your parents are looking at you going, so I don't quite understand your decisions, and I'm curious how you're going to make an income. It would be super easy to take that home with you and stay up all night wondering, oh well gosh, how am I gonna pay my bills? What if I do have to have the cable shut off? How am I gonna make rent and my car payment? You don't have to take everyone else's worries and concerns home with you. You're already feeling enough of these emotions on your own. You don't need everyone else's help to put fuel on that fire. And just a little side bonus tip, something that I have learned is that not everyone in your life needs all the details of what you're doing. They won't be able to understand it or comprehend it or be able to see themselves in it. So it's just going to create friction. Save those deep conversations for the people that really resonate with you and understand and are part of your journey in the trenches of it. It's okay for them not to understand, and it's okay for you to not over-explain it either. And last but not least, and this is such a beautiful one, a common jitter is pure joy. Now you may say, why is that a jitter, Laura? Well, pure joy will create an intense amount of energy in your body. And when I say pure joy, I can remember the very first time that I designed a billboard for a company, for a client of ours that we created. And driving down the highway and seeing it along the highway, that intense amount of pure joy, it was like satisfaction. It was a visual representation of I have worked hard and now I can physically see how hard I've worked. And then to have people comment on it and give feedback and take pictures and send it to me, and the client reach out and say, oh, I love this so much. That pure joy of what that beautiful alignment when you do what you do best and it affects someone in a positive way. We've talked about a lot of challenging emotions, a lot of thoughts and feelings that can really stump you. But when you experience those beautiful, pure moments, it puts all those other worries and all those other feelings to rest because it's gratitude and satisfaction on a level that can't be explained. It also serves as a reminder that you are in the right place at the right time doing the right thing, that you are completely capable of what you have set out to do, that you are talented enough, smart enough, capable enough, and absolutely ready to face those dreams and desires that have been swirling around in your head for months or even years. I wish I could say that these are the only 8 emotions that you're going to experience, but that would be a giant big fat lie. These are just a lot of the common ones that I have experienced and also watched hundreds of other entrepreneurs go through as well. The most important thing that I want you to take away though is that everything that you're feeling is real. It's okay to feel what you are feeling. And when it's excitement, celebrate that. And when it's a challenge, reach out. Allow yourself to be vulnerable because you would be amazed at the support system that you have built right around you that you may not even be aware exists. And I just want to remind you that you've got this. No matter which one of these you may be experiencing, whether it's one or maybe it's all 8 at the same time, you've got this. You were put on this earth for this. You were called to do this. And the world needs your talent. So keep showing up because the world needs you. Join me this Thursday as we take our power back by recognizing that the enemy of progress is comfort. What are you comfortable in that's actually holding you back from growing? Until then, follow the Gutsy Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. And for more Gutsy insight, follow me personally at that Laura Ora. See you next time.